Hi guys, I wanted to chat briefly today about batteries and deep cycle batteries specifically. When going on some of your trips, you really need an extra little bit of help. So the deep cycle battery is quite important because if you're going to run basic stuff, lights, fridges, and a few other odds and ends, you really need a little bit more support, and you want to have the right equipment that's going to last you a few days. If you're going into Makgadikgadi or into certain areas where there is no electricity, you can't just keep running normal household plugs. You do need something that's going to give you a lot more support and reliability. So some of the options out there there's some decent ones, and there's some homemade ones, and I'm going to show you the one that I have today. You can go around and look at some of the other guys that supply deep cycle batteries and other areas, and do your homework again. Really, I did a lot of my homework. I made a few basic mistakes. I bought one battery that I was told was second-hand, but only like 6 months old. Turned out it was about 12 years. So it was a bit of an expensive waste of money. The other side is I took it to the right guys, and I got the battery that I'm going to show you today. They gave me a pretty good deal on it, and I think if you do your homework and you realize what you're looking for and the amount of time that you need it, you'll get the right amp hours. But it goes a lot further than that. It also depends on what you want to draw off it. So there is no actual tool, apparently. We believe we found one though, a friend of mine, Rory, and I. There is no specific tool that actually, or monitor I should say, that actually, what a chop, monitor, not a tool. There is a monitor we believe we found. We're going to give it a bit of a go, but it does take getting used to. And it does take a little bit of homework to understand and learn exactly what you're dealing with, because in most cases we don't know. You could turn your fridge freezer up to -10. It could draw a lot more power. You could turn it only to fridge operation mode, and then you're not going to draw as much power. So you don't really know according to the battery. So you want to keep your battery as optimal as possible. So the option I'm going to show you today is my box and how it's connected, and then in another little shoot we're going to have a discussion about isolators and things like that, because that's also a very expensive area. Some guys are paying $6,500 for certain like CTEC. CTEC's a very good brand, reliable, solid, but $6,500 is a bit of a lump sum when you can spend the same amount of money for a fridge. But then on the flip side, do you want to spend that money on a cheap area and then your fridge doesn't work? So yeah, it's a bit of a twofold, and you really, again, do your homework. I've started using one that is quite cost effective. It's a third of the cost. I haven't given it its full options yet, but it also takes much like, in fact, it's exactly the same as a CTEC, except it doesn't have the big brand name, and it doesn't have a number of options. So I think let's try and work around the battery for now, and the casing, and stuff like that. So as you see here, I have a Deltec, and what I've done is my auto electrician, who I've done a number of things with, which again will be on another short video, said to me, go and get a box, just a plastic battery box, and he will put it together. I can give you his details if you send me a mail, but ultimately let's go through what I have over here. So for what I need in my camping, or what I wanted to start off with, was some powerful lights and my fridge. So as you see here, I've got the big green connectors, the power cable for the positive and the negative. It's drill the hole through the box over here. Originally I actually cut this over here, but yeah, it didn't end up being correct. So we got the Anderson plugs, connected it through over here. So I can actually, what I wanted originally was to take the battery out and have it removable and leave it in the tent if I don't need it, or if I'm going to be in a certain area for a longer period of time, which gives me a little bit more flexibility, because I'm a big fan of not having to drill holes into my vehicle, and that's something that I think most of the time I want to try and keep that rule. So ultimately what he did is he put together the fuses, there we go, and the little system that allows me to fix anything hands-on if need be with the fuses over here. Now I've had to replace one of the fuses, as you see over here, because there was a light connection that wasn't right, so I had to fix that bit over there. The other thing that I have is I asked them to put 2 Anderson plugs that I can use for my lights, my fridge and stuff like that. So that just gets plugged in wherever I need, and that's easy enough. The other thing I asked him to put in, which he didn't really agree with, was a cigarette lighter. Now the only reason was because I had one light that had a cigarette lighter. So I had the space and I thought, no, let me put it in. If I'm going to get it done, I'd rather have as many options off it as possible. The wiring is pretty basic. I'm sure if anyone that's clued up can do it at home. I have a 105 voltage, 105 amp hour 12 volt battery that you can see right over there, and it's pretty much connected all the way into the back of my Defender over here. Again, I wanted accessibility, and then this goes through the back, nothing drilled into the vehicle or any holes cut. It goes through the general electricity box that takes all the power for all the other stuff, and that works out quite well. So the point in this is to say, listen, you don't really need to have a big expensive box. This is a flexible type of option that you can go with. Like I said about going on the cheap stuff, I thought I'd found the right little item, and I got this little monitor over here, but the monitor cost me about 230 bucks from an electrician store down the road. They said to me that it was the right option for what I'm looking for. Turns out, total waste of money. I need to get something a little bit more zhuzhed up and a little bit more cleaned up that is not going to give me false readings. I haven't used this battery 100% yet. It's been plugged in, as you see, to my vehicle. It's been trickle charging for maybe a month or so, and there is physically impossible that it's on 77%. So in fact, I'm actually going to take this junk off and either throw it away or go back to them and say, listen guys, not a decent option at all. But again, a nice simple little area that that can take a lot of money. It's removable. I bought this from, I think, Pioneer Plastics or something like that, and there's the price actually, $287.50. That was about a year ago. So yeah, this is a nice little simple way that you can double check and make sure everything that you're looking for is available hands-on with the right power points. We'll come back and we will go through the isolator that I have.